Good morning, Hampton Roads. How's everybody doing today? And welcome to Virginia's only local real estate investing podcast, where we get to talk about local investors, local deals, and all things local. I'm your host, the founder of the Master Investor Academy, and author of my best-selling book, Work Just Gets in the Way of Making Money, Scott Jelinek. If you guys have any questions, concerns, comments, properties you'd like to sell, questions you'd like answered, go ahead and text me directly at 757-699-4227. That's 757-699-4227. And so before I get into what I wanted to talk to you about today, I wanted to answer two questions that did get texted into me, just to give them a response and maybe help somebody else who may have been thinking the same question. So one of the questions that was texted into me was saying, do you ever wholesale $1 million houses? Or is that a market that you stay away from? And I want to tell you that, first off, no, I have never wholesaled $1 million houses. And I can see there's definitely going to be there's going to be some things trickier about $1 million houses because there's a much smaller buyer pool. That being said, I am absolutely not opposed to doing it. I don't market to those houses, but if I got a lead and it was a high dollar house and the numbers all still checked out, I was still buying at the proper discount, and there was still a market for that property, would I do it? Absolutely. Wholesale, I may not be as inclined to wholesale it or to close on it and rehab it. But as far as wholesaling, absolutely. If I got a deal and it was $1 million house or a multi-million-dollar house and I got the proper deal, by all means, I would not be opposed to wholesaling it. Now, that being said, in my area, I recently purchased a new house, and I remember looking at how many houses a year sell in that price range. And there in my area in Virginia Beach, there is only about 20, it might have been 20 to 22, 23 houses per year that sell at the $2 million mark or higher, which means you have a very small buyer pool to sell to. So, and again, I didn't go down to $1 million to see how many sell at $1 million or more. But it's just something to keep in mind. Yes, it can be done. I know people who do it in other markets, not in my local market. And so you can wholesale bigger dollar houses. You'll probably get much larger fees. But with that is going to come, excuse me, a lot more challenges because you're going to have a much smaller buyer pool. And, so you're going to have to buy deep and you're going to have a much smaller buyer pool, but it does not mean that you can't do it. So short answer is absolutely you can. No, I have not. I'm not opposed to it, just have never done it. The next question that someone texted in, and this was actually a really good one, is how do you change values based on lot sizes? And this was interesting because now I didn't respond. I'm responding now through this podcast, but I didn't respond with the question of, are you talking about buildable lots, or are you talking about just people that buy land? Because I actually like the people that do the land flipping. That's a whole different business. But if you're talking about buildable lots, which is the only thing that I have any frame of reference with, we do not change the value. And what I mean by that is if you needed 5,000 square feet to build the house, 5,000 square foot lot, and you had a 5,000 square foot lot here, had X value, and a 7,000 square foot lot there with X value, in my head, it's the same value. We're going to put a new house on there. I'm not changing its value for it being a slightly larger lot. I basically, what would change the value for me, and you guys can say I'm wrong, and maybe I am, and you could do it a different way. That's fine. What changes the value for me is if it can be subdivided to build two houses, well, that would drastically change its value. But if it's just if you're still building one house, but one's going to have a larger yard, I'm not changing much of anything as far as the way I'm valuing that lot. If it was smaller, meaning it's not buildable, well, then it's drastically changed in the other directions where I give it almost no value, because if you can't put a house there, it really is just going to be a neighboring yard to one of the houses on either side. So in my opinion, anyway, if the house is buildable for one house, I value it the same. Whether it was a 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 square foot lot, I'm going to value it exactly the same because I'm going to get one new construction house on it. If it hit 10 or 11,000 square feet and I was approved where I can subdivide it, well, that's going to change its value drastically. I hope this helps. I hope that was the question that, in fact, you were asking, and not talking about random parcels of land being, up in the mountains or farmland or anything like that. I think that's what you meant, but text me again if I didn't clarify that enough for you. So the question that I wanted to talk to you about today, and this just came, one of my people actually just called me yesterday, excuse me, and was asking me, how do I go about selling myself? Do I need an agent in this hot market? So I'm doing this now. Yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. So what are we? We're March 18th in 2021, and the market is about as hot as it has ever been, and likely as hot, excuse me, as it will ever be. So do you need a real estate agent, or can you just go ahead and sell your own house? So there's a couple, excuse me, I'm not 100% yet, but I'm getting there. There's a couple of different answers for that. So first off, you guys know when I said that I sold my primary residence back in October, I just put an ad on Facebook Marketplace, but I wasn't doing that for the purpose of not using an agent. I was doing that because I listed it as an owner finance. That was my intent. And then the buyer came through and wanted to get a mortgage. So I completed the process. But because I wasn't an actual seller, I was selling with owner finance, I held all the cards. I was able to say, nope, I'm not doing any repairs. Nope, I'm not paying any closing costs. Nope, I'm not paying any commissions. You either want it or you don't want it. And I held all the cards because I didn't care about selling it. I was just trying to sell it with owner financing. Had I been trying to sell the house, yes, I would have used an agent. Now, in hindsight, knowing it worked out so well the way it went, you would say, well, why not just do it the way you did? True, but that's because it worked out that way. But moving forward, when I have a house now, I'll give you, for instance, I have one right now. You guys know I told you the story of that. I'm wholesaling. I always use an agent, and I'll tell you why. So you can do it. Okay, let me go back a step too. If you have an agent who all they do, the listing agent, if all they do is take it and put it in the MLS, then you're just wasting your money. And I mean that by you can just use a flat fee listing then. If all your agent's going to do is stick it in the MLS, you can use a flat fee listing, cost you $500, and you're going to save 3%. And you're still going to have to pay 3% to the selling agent. But you do want it on the MLS. You want it out there to the broad market because people lose a lot of money by trying to do it on their own, pricing incorrectly, there's so many things you can screw up along the way. So that's if you have a bad agent, or if you have an agent who does nothing but stick it in the MLS. Yes, you're better off without an agent, or you're better off either doing a flat fee listing or doing one of those set price where you just pay a for sale by owner, but it gets listed on the MLS. But if you have a good agent, and I believe I have a really good agent, I'm very happy with my agent. But if you have a good agent, and a good agent doesn't just stick it on the MLS, a good agent does a lot of work to getting the house from the time you listed it to getting it all the way to closing. And that is when it is absolutely worth it. I have never regretted having an agent, and I'll tell you why. We all make money, right, doing the things that we do. And I always go back to a painter, and this is no disrespect to a painter, but I say I can paint a house, but then I would be earning a painter's wage. I can go mow my own lawn, and now I'm earning a landscaper's wage. I used to be a landscaper. I could sell my own house. You can do that. But you're saving money. You're not making money. So, and people say, oh, well, saving money is the same as making money. No, but now you're spending your time and energy saving money instead of what you should be doing, which is focusing on new deals. And let that agent do what they're a professional at, which is getting your deal from contract to close. And now, again, this is all predicated on you having a good agent. And I say that with no disrespect because I don't know all the agents out there, but I do know that there's plenty of agents that do nothing more than take your property, get the listing, stick it in MLS, and then wait for contracts to come, and you're on your own. I have, what I believe is very good agents. I feel I get very good service from my agents, and they do a lot more than just sticking it in the MLS. I never once have paid a commission since I've been with this new agent that I felt like, oh, I just paid 3% for nothing. I always feel like I got my value out of it, either through higher price, through getting repairs done, or somebody handling stuff for me, taking care of the repairs that need to be done, taking care of negotiating, taking care of the pickers. So it's completely up to you. But I think you're better served spending your time and energy focusing on what you do, which is procuring more deals and making money, than worrying about all the different ways you can try and save money. Just my 2 cents. Yes, it is an absolutely hot market, and people feel, well, in the market like this, I really don't need an agent. Yes, you can probably get away without using one. It doesn't mean you're going to net more money, and it doesn't mean it's in your best interest if you put a value on your time as well. It's all I wanted to share with you. I know I got this question yesterday, and I really wanted to share it because I to this day, I still use an outside agent. Everybody's like, well, why wouldn't you can just do it yourself. You can just do this and you can just do that. I know I can, but it's not a matter of what I can do. I'm not trying to save money. I'm trying to make more money, and I'm trying to outsource as much stuff as I can so that my time is my own. Hope this helps you guys. I just wanted to clarify that and answer that, because I know we are in an unbelievable hot market right now, and people are starting to feel like, well, I don't need an agent. I'm not an agent, mind you. But people start feeling like, well, I don't need an agent. I can just do this on my own. Yes, you can, but it doesn't mean you're going to be better off. Do something today that your future self's going to thank you for. I thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and click the like button. Let me know that you're out there watching this. If you know somebody that you think would benefit from this information, please go ahead and share it with them. Helps me get this out to more people. Have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.